Yet Seneca, as we know, took part in the system himself, a problem we shall return to later. Little better than those who squander time on business are those so engrossed in a hobby or avocation that they, too, surrender their time to feed their obsession. Under this heading, Seneca castigates those who give lavish dinner parties, who meticulously groom their hair, or who conduct research into obscure historical questions. This last attack sends a chill down the classicist's spine. All such people are lumped together by Seneca, along with those driven by business and legal pursuits, under the Latin term occupati, rendered here, inadequately, as preoccupied. One by one, Seneca turns his withering glance on each of these occupati, such that his treatise becomes, for long stretches, an entertaining piece of social satire. Wealth and luxury are frequently lurking behind the pursuits of the occupati, so Seneca's attacks on wastage of time are also, indirectly, hits at Roman materialism. His ultimate target is the pampered aristocrat who gets carried around from bath to sedan chair by teams of household slaves. This grotesque fellow is so unaware of his surroundings that he can't even tell his own posture. "Am I seated now?" he asks his porters, after they place him in his chair. "How can he be the master of any portion of time?" asks Seneca, bringing his diatribe back to its main theme. Great wealth takes us out of ourselves and away from what's real and true. It prevents us from being masters of time. An intriguing phrase found only here. Though Seneca writes dismissively about wealth and about the preoccupations of Rome's elite, it must be noted that he belonged to that elite and was enormously wealthy. Moreover, in the terms of the Roman clientelar system, Seneca was an immensely powerful and sought-after patron. At the time On the Shortness of Life was written, he was in fact serving as chief minister to young Nero, the ruler of Rome, a post in which Seneca was besieged by clients daily. This paradox raises the problems, faced often by the readers of Seneca, of how the man's life measured up to his own ideals, and of how to interpret advice that he seems, at first glance anyway, to have himself ignored. Seneca studied with Stoic teachers in youth, followers of the Greek creed that exalted a life of reason and virtuous action, and warned against the dangerous influence of the passions. His talent for expressing these ideas in hard-hitting prose emerged early on, but so did his interest in Roman politics. He entered the Senate sometime in the AD 30s, and made a name for himself there as an orator and speechwriter. He survived, barely, the purges during the reign of Caligula, but then, under Claudius, in AD 41, found himself exiled to the island of Corsica. After 8 years in the wilderness, he was recalled to Rome to serve as tutor and moral guide to the young Nero, then being groomed as Claudius's likely successor. When Nero became emperor at age 17, in AD 54, Seneca's presence at court became a valued political asset. Agrippina, Nero's controlling mother, gave Seneca huge authority over her son, and thus over the empire. But Nero and his mother soon quarrelled, putting Seneca in a difficult position. Perhaps as the result of one such quarrel, and Agrippina's anger in its aftermath, Seneca's father-in-law, Pompeius Paulinus, was dismissed from his position as praefectus annoni, the official in charge of maintaining and distributing Rome's voluminous grain imports. Seneca himself was too valuable to dismiss. It's noteworthy that On the Shortness of Life is addressed to this same Paulinus, and deals very directly with his situation, urging him, in its final chapters, to withdraw from management of grain stocks. Perhaps, as scholar Miriam Griffin plausibly argued, Seneca wrote the essay in part to spare his kinsman a public embarrassment, by couching his firing as a happy retirement. If that thesis is accepted, we can date the essay, fairly precisely, to AD 55, the first year of Nero's reign. In any case, that date is clearly the latest point at which